Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. We're going to talk about several things. As a matter of fact, we're even going to have a little bit of story time today. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. When I told people there was going to be accountability held, give me 1 second. Let me do something real quick, see what's going on here, which I don't care. All right. So, when I told people that people were going to be held accountable, Ms. Bev is going to come get in the box so we don't lag. Hey, Ms. Bev.
Good
Hey, Ms.
afternoon, everybody. Are you ready? I'm ready. I just got home. Well,
I'm glad you went and took care of what you had to.
adulting is done.
Well, adulting is done. My adulting is done. So now, Mrs. Homing said now it's time for FEC case.
I'm going to grab a gummy right now.
All right, you grab your gummy, Ms. Bev. I'll keep you in the box, and that way we don't lag. And let's get this thing started. So,
Let's go.
when I told everyone, and I'm a man of my word, that I was going to hold people accountable for their actions, the ones that are acting up, thinking that everything is fine and dandy and that nothing is going to come of anything, and whatever the case might be, sorry, not sorry, but I will hold you accountable. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to give Brownie a first run at this real quick. Brownie, I'm going to give you a taste of what's to come your way. I have so much coming your way. I have a lot coming your way, Brownie. So give me 1 second. Let me grab some pictures here. So, Brownie, when Mrs. Homie said yesterday, when Mrs. Homie said that by the end of night yesterday, that she would find out, we would find out everything and anything, including who slept with you right next to you in your bed. It didn't even take that long. It didn't take that long, Brownie. It was a matter of hours. And we keep our word over here. We keep our word, but I'm not going to drag your significant other into this situation because they did nothing. You're the one that's on social media doing what you're doing. So all it took was a few hours for me to get everything I need on you. Everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. I'm telling you, I'm a man of my word. So I know everything and anything. So let me start with this, Brownie, because you know, I want you to explain this nonsense right here. Give me 1 second, everybody. These messages are the ones in black. Brownie's messages are the ones in black. Brownie, I told you I'm going to just give you a taste of what's coming your way. You see what I'm saying, Brownie? You think that I wouldn't get everything and anything of what you have done and are doing? Is this what we're doing? Huh? Huh, Brownie? Your messages are in black. Brownie said to somebody in these messages, I swear to God, I almost called Rhea a N-word with the hard ER behind it. This is what we're doing, Brownie. When I told you yesterday and you were in Danny's box laughing up a storm, thinking everything was fun and games. Remember, you thought everything was fun and games? And I told you I was going to put a folder together for you. I'm keeping my word. I'm keeping my word. Here we have Brownie being as racist as they come. No wonder she hangs out with Danny. No wonder she hangs out with Danny. So when Brownie said, I swear to God, I almost called Rhea Nigger, the other person said, oh my effing God, that would have been so bad. Brownie said, well, she acts like one. The other person responded, you trying to get KILLED or nah? Brownie responds, she says racist stuff and nobody cares, so why should I? The other one said, oh, she's a nasty F and B for sure, but doing that will do you no favors. They will use it against you forever. You better believe it. Brownie says Jordan calls people Niggers all the time. Even white people. Doesn't make him a racist. You gotta be kidding me, right? Huh? Is this what we're doing? Brownie? I told you. And I'm gonna cuss one time. Brownie, I told you don't fuck with Mrs. Homie. I apologize everybody for cursing. But I told you, don't F-U-C-K with Mrs. Homie. Because I was coming. And I was coming full force for you. I told you. I warned you. And you sat in Danny's box and thought it was an effing game. You thought it was an effing game. Here we are sitting here today. Because I told you what was coming your way. Don't mess with Mrs. Homie. Don't do it. It's all fun and games until you start getting exposed for the racist individual that you are, amongst other things that I'm putting in your folder. It was gloves off. It was gloves off for you. Just like it's gloves off for Danny. It's gloves off for Gabby. It's gloves off. See, I stepped away from TikTok for a while we handle some things around here with the family. But eventually everybody knew that we'd be back. We'd be back to doing what we started doing and calling people like Brownie, Danny, Gabby, amongst many other people. And here we are. So for Brownie, your folder, when I'm done with it, because I'm not done with it yet. They're already reporting us. Already reporting this. Let me do this. I'm going to restart. And if you don't have the backup account, the Mexican Homie 5280, we'll run it on the Mexican Homie 5280 account. Let me restart this. I'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? I was
Aqui, ó, família, chateado, ó.
Hey twin, if you're ever stressing, remember
开始，小心小心。线下的美食，
您有新的饿了么订单，请及时处理。
73是吗？它是杂粮贝果，然后加一个热的拿铁标杯，苦的。对，它这个盖子是不稳的哈，你能看出来吗？
哦。
你这样给它加固一下。应该是盖的时候没盖好。昨天
I'm checking the status. Give me 1 second. Please bear with me, everybody. And I know why they hit us. I know why they got us. Hey, Ms. Beth.
Hello, Brownie's live with your pictures up.
It's all right.
Okay.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
Not worried about it at all. Thank you. We're going to continue doing what we got to do. So they hit our other account until, I believe, give me 1 second. Till the 2nd, that's fine. What'd she say? She's on claiming the screenshots were faked? That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I'll let her keep saying that. So that is the reason they hit our account was because of what I was showing. And I left it on the screen too long. That was a mistake on my part. So, and she could have my picture all she wants. She said they are old. That's not even the beginning of what's to come of what I have on her. So I wanted to just let her know ahead of time what she could be expecting. Well, if she says they're fake, no. She can say they're fake all she wants. And the reason, like I said, that we got hit was, and that she requested a box. Well, she can look. She can say they're fake all she wants. When I put everything out, because I'm not done with her folder yet. When I put the rest of everything out there, is she gonna say that everything else is fake? She said they're like from 4 years ago. So, in 4 years, she made a drastic change, I guess. Oh, I don't fake anything. I'm going to ask everybody in the community, when have I ever faked anything? When have I ever faked anything that I have? Never. I have never faked anything. Hold on. It's all right. Give me 1 second. I have never faked any documentation. Never. I have never faked any documentation. As long as we have been doing awareness, we have never faked any documents, anything that's sent to us. Everybody, they're credible sources. Nothing is faked. Somebody said, cute puppy though. Yeah. And I told her, see, yesterday Brownie was saying that she was going to go hold a live stream and she was going to expose herself. That she was going to put everything out there about her past that she's done on social media, what she's done, this and that. That's not the only picture I have of Brownie. The amount of pictures I have on Brownie is wild. See, I do my due diligence. I do my research. This other picture where her eyes are pretty wide open, I don't know what's going on there. I have, I don't know, countless number of pictures of her. Not only do I have all her pictures, I have email addresses, I have everything. Everything. It only took a few hours to do what I had to do. And I'm not gonna show some of the other pictures because it has her significant other in them. And then, you know, the significant other has nothing to do with this. She can say it's fake all she wants. Ain't nothing fake. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We got hit on the other account. It's all right. No big deal. I don't care. We'll get it back on the second. Huh? Oh. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, everybody. I gotta get our moderators in here. Give me 1 second while I make sure our moderators are taken care of. Let me see. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out a lot of information on Brownie. I wanted her to understand that by sitting in a box with somebody who's racist and laughing about it. Is that Lynn Nicker's account? Oh, I got to verify. By sitting there and laughing it up and thinking everything is fun and games and thinking everything's a joke. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna make sure. Sorry, everybody. I'm getting our moderators from another account on this account. Oh, there's Morgan. Let me grab Morgan up. Please bear with me. I know. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I know, but it's not letting me yet. I had to send her a follow. Okay. Let's continue. See, Brownie, what you ended up doing was sitting with the racist individual. And they said, who wants a box? I don't see nobody requesting a box.
Nobody's requesting a box.
Okay.
You said you didn't give her a box in the last live. The live went down.
Yeah. Yeah, if she was requesting a box in the last live stream, I didn't see it. The account went down. Okay, I'm going to get Morgan right now. All right, Morgan, I'm going to make sure I get you on this account. Okay. We're getting all of our moderators. Sitting with Danny while she's making all those racist remarks, she thinks that it was all fun and games. There was nothing funny about what Danny had said and what Danny was saying, and they were laughing it up and they thought everything was fun and jokes. Danny, the drama twins. Nothing is funny about that at all. I don't find it funny. Now, they could sit there and laugh and kiki it up and doing all that. But after seeing some of the things that I was able to obtain about Brownie, there's a reason they sit together. There's a reason why they sit together. She can shame whatever she wants. See, here's the one thing, and I'm going to make this very loud and clear because I've heard that before. She's shaming your teeth. You know what? I could fix my smile. I could fix my smile. What you can't fix is a racist individual, somebody with a cold heart like Danny, Brownie, and Gabby. You can't fix that. I could fix my smile for the low, low price of $20,000. I could fix my smile. That ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. So, you can't fix a cold heart. You can't fix somebody that is racist. So I don't care what they say about my teeth. Doesn't bother me one bit. Ooh-wee. So yeah, there's a difference. Can't fix a black heart like they have. So Brownie, be prepared for what's coming your way. Be prepared. Because it's coming. So before I move on to the next one, because I just wanted to give her a taste of what was coming. Give me 1 second. I wanted Brownie to understand. She can shame me all she wants. I'm not going to cry about it. Not the first time or the last time I heard that. Before I move on to the next one. All right. Let's get into it. So Danny, when I told you were going to be held accountable, I'm going to name up a few things. that I have been taking care of. And I warned Danny what was coming her way. I warned her. And I wanted to make sure that she understood what was coming her way. So, Danny, have you ever heard of the American Cancer Society? Huh, Danny? Have you ever heard of the American Cancer Society? Asking for a friend. Because if you haven't heard of the American Cancer Society, they take scams. They take scams very, very seriously. So I did the right thing. And give me 1 second. In this stack of paperwork, give me 1 second. I gotta do this. In this stack of paperwork, I haven't printed out. You see this stack of paperwork, Danny? And there's some other individuals that better be worried about what's in this stack. I have another stack of paperwork over here to the side. So I have this stack and I have another one. Danny, I printed them out because I'm gonna physically have a folder besides just hard drives and on my computer. I'm gonna have a physical folder for you. So I have several stacks of paperwork. Because you pulled off a cancer scam and you profited from it. They can report all they want, I don't care. Because that's what you did. I involved the American Cancer Society. I filed a complaint with the Internet Crime Complaint Center, which goes to the FBI. I'm getting the Attorney General involved in this, along with the Inspector General over in Florida. See, this is what happens when you think you could get away with cancer scams. You're not going to scam people and think you're going to get away with it, especially when it comes to cancer. Not at all. There's 2 more organizations that I'm going to get involved with this. That's why everything is being printed out and put in a physical folder to make sure. Not only am I filing the complaints and sending out emails and stuff of that nature, I'll be sending it via mail, certified mail, to the necessary people. So you pay for what you've done. You will face consequences.
Along with hitting that cat, bitch.
Along with also what you did to Enzo the cat. Consequences are coming your way. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. And I told you, since you thought it was all fun and games, you thought it was fun and games, right? Everything was joke, ha ha ha. Mexican homie ain't done SHIT in years, yada yada yada. Don't be laughing. Don't be laughing when they go knocking on your door, slap some cups on you. Don't be crying then. This community, we will hold you accountable, along with the authorities. So I hope you're listening, Danny. I'm not the one to play with. I'm not the one to play with. As a matter of fact, I got something else. I got something else here too. I won't show it anybody But I got something else to play regarding Danny. I want everybody to listen real close. This is Danny. Listen real close.
Haters, I own you. I own you.
Let me run it back.
Haters, I own you. I own you.
I can show the video. I can show the video. I can show the video. It's not showing anything disturbing.
Haters, I own you. I own you. I own you.
Listen up. It's all right.
I would love to just like take you, cut you up in little bits and pieces, fry you, and then eat you for my supper. Take your little fingers, chop them off, take a little chopper, chop, 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 cut you up into little pieces, and just fry you and cook you for supper. I would love to do that.
There you go. I got a, oh, no, wrong one. Wrong one. Okay. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. And people support that. People support that nonsense. While people sit in Danny's boxes and support that nonsense, that's wild behavior. Right, Feisty? Right? They want to file ROs on everybody else, but here we have an individual that is doing things like that. That is crazy behavior. Wild. And people support that. People support that type of behavior. While we are holding them accountable, people are sitting in her boxes, cheering her on like a bunch of cheerleaders while she says racist remarks and does all this crazy nonsense. That's unacceptable. Highly unacceptable. And Brownie sat in that box with Danny and is all like, I never known for her to be racist. Never ever. Ain't no way that you didn't know what Danny was doing was racist. Ain't no way that you don't know what Gabby has said is that you don't know that is racist. At all.
Apologize. And just know that I should have corrected it, but that's not what I meant at all. It was meant something completely different. So, I'm voting for somebody who's going to close the border off, who's not going to let immigrants come into RAP, everybody who's not. And, like, if you guys still don't understand, it's not me. Who's not going to let immigrants come into RAP, everybody. But like I said, I did not mean it like that. Who's not going to let immigrants come into RAP, everybody? Why are you voting for Trump? And I said, well, because of the borders, and these immigrants should not come in or something like that down those lines. But I believe that's what I said. Who's not going to let immigrants come into RAP, everybody? What I meant to say is, you know, I want these borders up so, you know, they come in here by law, and like, I want them in here, but I also want to protect our border. And so I kind of said something. So if I said it, but I would love to see the video though. Go let immigrants come into RAP, everybody. And if November's in here, I don't know if she is, I am sorry. I'm very, very sorry, and that was wrong. And, You didn't deserve that.
Why are you coming in my box bringing up shit? What you said is not over. My family, we are immigrants. And you're saying that my family, RAPE
Everybody
people?
says it. Everybody says it. America said it, dude.
I lashed out on a lot.
Zip it, sweetheart.
No,
zip it here. Zip it.
Let me
Zip
tell
it.
you something,
Zip it,
Danny.
sweetheart. Big Karen. You need Jesus, baby.
Let me tell
need
you.
Jesus.
No, Danny, you need Jesus. It's diabolical for you to sit there and say that somebody needs Jesus when obviously you sit there and you apologize. And then you turn around and you go into a complete meltdown. You go into complete meltdown. You apologize to people, then it's a whole different story with you. So what is it? Are you sorry? No. You know what it is? You're sorry that you got caught. That's what it is. You're sorry that you got caught. That's the only thing that you're sorry for. See, you try to manipulate people. You won't manipulate me. You won't manipulate our community. That's never going to happen. Never. What you said about Mrs. Homie was so vile and disgusting, and calling her the B word and doing all this. Mrs. Homie told you how she felt. She won't put it in the comments section. The reason why Mrs. Homie's not going to drop how she really feels in the comment section is because they'll snatch her account real quick. That's why. Truth and facts. Yet, TikTok allows you and your sister and anybody else to do all these crazy things on social media. That's why Mrs. Homie doesn't put it in the comment section. And for you to sit there and say, talk about, I wear the pants of the house, yada, yada, I'm the man of the house. Let me tell you something. As long as me and Mrs. Homie have been together, nobody controls nobody. We are equal. You must be upset because when you hear Mrs. Homie in the background, you don't like it. You don't like that it's a team effort. We're a team. I will never control Mrs. Homie and what she does. We are equal. So if you're upset about that, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm not done with you, Danny. Especially with the legal consequences coming your way. There are legal consequences coming your way. And I have a lot more that I'm going to be releasing on you. That's a guarantee. There's going to be a lot more. And I'm doing it little by little. And as a matter of fact, because you guys want to be so vile on the internet and so disrespectful, let me grab something. Just give me 1 second, everybody. I'm going to grab something real quick. I want to show everybody. Everybody see that? You see that beautiful website that's being built so everybody on the internet could know who Gabby and Danny really are. See that beautiful website coming to you? The Clam Scammers. So clamscammers.com coming soon to you. I'm already building it. That way everybody can see who the real Gabby and Danny are. Videos will be uploaded there. It'll show all their vile behavior. The clamscammers.com. I'll get the domain name locked in by later on. Look at that, the clamscammers.com. You see that? That way everybody knows who they really are. Look, I'm already working on you. Look at that. Look at that. Talk about a digital footprint, right? Look at that. I'm already working on it. Look, I could already scroll it. I told you I was busy. I told everybody I was busy. I wasn't playing. It'll show everybody who they really are. So, coming soon. By Monday at the latest, everybody will have full access to it. Everybody will have access to it by Monday at the latest. Now, let me play a little bit of this while I grab what I need for Gabby real quick. While I grab what I need for Gabby real quick. Moderators, get that Spread Love account out of here, please. If you could get that Spread Love account out of here, greatly appreciated. They'll get her out of here. Got her. She's gone. Got her. Thank you. Thank you. All right. This is where story time comes into play, everybody. So, you know, I'm so sick and tired. I called them out. I called out Gabby, Danny, Aaron for exploiting that little boy, for exploiting C. Justice for C. Nobody's going to exploit that little boy any further. Yeah, they already got rid of Spread Love. Spread Love is gone. You're not going to exploit Cameron anymore. Gabby, you will no longer exploit that little boy. He's innocent in all this. When you put out that pamphlet that you called the book, it was to exploit that little boy. When you put him in front of the camera and you put him all over the internet, is because you were exploiting that little boy. It stops here. It stops here. And now with this pregnancy that you're talking about, I want to give you a heads up, Gabby. If it comes to fruition, or if anybody comes to find out that you're faking a pregnancy again. And you financially gain off of it in Florida. Once again. If you sit here and lie to people about it, and then all of a sudden you have a MC or you claim to have a miscarriage and you financially gain off of it, not only are there state statutes, there's also federal statutes that go along with it. You'll be prosecuted to the fullest for that. You will be prosecuted. So if you've been getting TikTok gifts and later on something happens where you happen to have a miscarriage, you know, claim to have a miscarriage or whatever the case might be, we will make sure that you get prosecuted to the fullest. And I'm going to see to it. I am going to see to it that you face the full prosecution of the law, because you're the one that brought that to the internet. You brought it to the internet. So be prepared. Be prepared for what's coming. Keeping an eye on you. Now, because Gabby likes to share medical records, not only her medical records, but Cameron's medical records, and Gabby loves to share everything, right? I hope you're listening, Gabby, because remember I told you, exploiting that little boy, Cameron, stops here right now. Especially with that pamphlet that you put on Amazon. I hope you're listening. You like to share everything out, right? Not only to one person, but to several people. We've seen it happen before. Gabby, tell me if this sounds familiar. And I know everybody's screen recording. Gabby, does this sound familiar? Raised by love, broken by bullies, justice at last. How I beat the bullies in court. Does that sound familiar, Gabby? Huh? Justice at last, how I beat the bullies in court. Tell me, does that sound familiar? Chapter 1, taken. Chapter 1, taken. Listen up, Gabby. I just promised myself in the world that I would never stop fighting. I didn't realize how quickly that promise would be tested. The very next chapter of my life began on September 29th, 2025, when CPS texted me. Does that sound familiar? Does it? Huh? I told you, exploiting that little boy Cameron was going to come to a stop. Didn't I tell you exploiting that little boy was going to come to a stop? I have your book. Or the pamphlet. I have your second pamphlet that you planned on releasing. Why did you put Feisty's name in there? Why did you put Feisty's name in this so-called second book or pamphlet that you were going to release? You put Brownie's name also in that pamphlet.
On what page? Tell her what page.
Give me 1 second. I'll grab it up. Give me 1 second. She even put Brownie's name in that. What do you think? You really thought we were going to sit here and let you exploit that little boy any further? Not on our watch. Not on our watch. Listen to this. Listen to this. So in this pamphlet, this new one, Gabby states, so I started speaking out. I told the truth about what was happening, even when my voice shook. I shared screenshots, timelines, and evidence. Once again, Gabby states, I shared screenshots, timelines, and evidence. Not for drama, not for attention, but to show people how easily a mother who loved her son could be turned into a villain by lies. She admits in this new pamphlet that she shared evidence. You know, when you're sending medical records out and everything else, how could you self-incriminate yourself? But I can't expect anything less from you. You self-incriminate. Good thing I have, you hear this? You hear this, Gabby? I got it printed out. I got it printed out. You won't be able to erase it. Let me read another excerpt from her pamphlet. By late afternoon, a small piece of good news finally came through. I qualified for assistance because of my income level. They sent me up for a call with an attorney on September 26th at 10 a.m. to go over the case and see how they could represent me. So when you scammed all those people out of money, when you filed that bogus, fraudulent, frivolous lawsuit against Feisty, and you collected all that money, you already had qualified for assistance for an attorney. You already had qualified because of your income levels. But yeah, you scammed all those people out of money. Really? That's wild. Let's read another excerpt from her book. Gabby puts in there, the lawyer had also mentioned another option, something called ACT, an organization that assigns attorneys for injunction hearings. I'd already called them and learned there were 2 attorneys without court that day who might be available. The plan was simple. On the hearing date, I'd meet with one of them for 45 minutes, and if everything lined up, they would represent me. Really? You qualified for an attorney because based on your income level, you went to scam people for a bunch of money, knowing that you would have representation on that frivolous lawsuit against Feisty, and you think you're going to get away with that? Do you really think that we're going to let you get away with this nonsense? It was for the court hearing, that frivolous lawsuit that she filed on Feisty. I read the whole pamphlet already. She also put in there, so Gabby also put in this pamphlet, she goes, she promoted my diamond art and told viewers that if they donated $50 toward my legal fund, they could choose any topic for her to discuss. It started small, but soon the chat wanted to talk about Feisty, the woman who harassed not only me but other people too. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? So chapter 1 is called Taken. Chapter 2 is called the shelter hearing. Chapter 3 is the judge's ruling. Let me read to you chapter 3. Chapter 3 goes, the courtroom air felt heavy, like it was pressing down on my chest. Every word spoken seemed to echo louder than it should have. CPS laid out their side, twisting little details into something dark. They spoke about concerns and safety, but never once mentioned how Cameron laughed at home, or how tightly he clung to me when he was scared. They made me sound like a stranger to my own child. But all of their allegations were false, and I had the proof to show it. My lawyer wasted no time tearing their story apart. She asked them the simplest question again and again. Why was this child removed? Her voice cut through the courtroom like a knife. If that bruise hadn't been there, would we even be here today? CPS had no real answer. Every time my lawyer pressed them, they stumbled. Their responses were either, I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't recall. One by one, the lies crumbled. They claimed I had never shown them Cameron's paperwork for his diagnosis. But I had the screenshots, text messages between me and Lindsay, the caseworker, where I sent the documents and she replied with, thank you. I pulled them up and showed the truth. Gabby, you never show the truth. Then came the accusation about the dogs. Excuse me. They tried to twist the story, saying the dogs snapped at Cameron while I was supervising. But the truth was the opposite. That day, I had to take a rug test, and I asked Lindsay and Ella to watch Cameron and the dog while I was gone. I wasn't even there when they claimed it happened. When I explained this in court, they had no answer. I reminded the court that we had cameras around the house, front, back, and sides, and even a door alarm. We had extra locks on the garage and front door, and a block on the sliding doors so Cameron couldn't slip out. Everything was done to keep him safe, but CPS never mentioned those protections. They painted a picture that wasn't reality. The hardest part was knowing Cameron had been questioned alone at CPT for nearly 5 hours. 5 hours for a simple bruise. My son, who is autistic, sat in a room without me, without Aaron, without a lawyer, without his grandma. I couldn't help but wonder how many questions did they ask him? Did they lead him? Did they twist his words like they twisted mine? They twisted your words, Gabby? You put in this pamphlet that they twisted your words? Wow. Even sitting in court, I wanted to get the transcripts to see what had really happened in that room. Still, my lawyer stood strong. She kept pulling at the threads until the CPS story fell apart. Every accusation had an answer, and every answer I gave was backed by proof. When the judge finally looked up, his words carried the weight of everything we had endured. There are no findings of abuse or neglect. This court does not see grounds to keep Cameron from his parents. The motion for shelter is dismissed. Ha! I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Relief rushed through me so fast, and I thought my legs would give out. I felt Aaron squeeze my hand, his grip tight, his eyes wet. For the first time in days, I could breathe again. But even in that victory, there was no celebration. CPS has shown me just how quickly they could twist a phone call into a case file, just how easily my son could be taken without warning, and just how fragile the truth felt in a system that didn't always care about it. Walking out that courthouse, I held my head high, but inside, I was shaking. I had won that battle, but I knew the war wasn't over. If TikTok could take us this far, they could try again. And deep down, I knew they would. That's chapter 3. In this entire pamphlet, after reading it, after I read this entire pamphlet, Gabby threw so many lies in this pamphlet, I was going to throw it out the window. I was really going to throw this pamphlet out the window because the amount of lies was ridiculous. Hey, Feisty. Hey, Feisty, did you request a box?
I just feel like I did. I just feel like since you brought this up, that I've been kind of just sitting. How the hell do you find it? I've been kind of just sitting, doing my own little thing. I've had a copy of this book too. Can I have a big box for just a second?
Let me.
Since you mentioned it, homie.
There you go.
Since you brought it up, right?
Oh, I'll take all the heat for this.
I'm just curious if y'all see that right down there. I received the same book. I have not said a word. If you look right there where it says original message, can you please explain to me why Crash Out PI is circulating Gabby's book? I'm just asking for a friend. This email that had that book copy and pasted in it originated from Kaylee's moderator, Crash Out PI. You see that right there in the blue? It's not us doing this to Gabby. It's her own people. It's her very own people. That's all I wanted to show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is wild. See,
Hey, I have a question for Feisty.
Feisty, Mrs. Homie has a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did she give permission for Gabby to put her name in her book?
No, ma'am. She actually received a cease and desist back in July and was told not to put my name in that book.
The pamphlet. Let's just make sure we get it right. The pamphlet.
Correct.
And Gabby has thrown quite a bit of names in this pamphlet.
Correct.
Quite a bit of names have been thrown in there, which is downright ridiculous. But Feisty, you know as well as everybody else in the community that Gabby loves to send things out. She
Correct.
just loves it. And but this is where her exploiting that little boy comes to a halt with this pamphlet being out. Because
Well, homie, if you notice, if you get all the way down to chapter 35,
yeah.
and you notice how it just stops after the fundraiser and how she slept so good and there's nothing further.
Yeah, chapter 35, A Night of Miracles.
Yeah, there's nothing after that because it didn't go the way she thought it was gonna. It's amazing. It's just amazing. I received the same email a couple of days ago, and because I've learned how to find where the original email comes from, I look at them now, and I just find it funny that I'm being thrown into a courtroom when it's her own people doing this shit to her. I just find it funny, So
It's wild. It's wild. And that's why we need to put a halt. We need to put a complete halt to, I called them out for exploitation. Not
blamed for collecting money for Florida. We got blamed.
Yeah, I don't even know where me and Mrs. Homie got thrown in the mix of that we scam people out of money for Florida, and I was all like, "Wait a minute, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, I didn't ask for anybody to give me money from Florida. My community came together and said, you're going to take it anyway, but I'm still being called a scammer. I got a call from my deputy clerk today at my courthouse. They've received over 300 phone calls from 8 o'clock this morning until that office closed today. Somebody called down there wanting to get a call back with a fax number because they wanted to send a packet of information down there to the courthouse pertaining to me. These people, they don't have any boundaries whatsoever at all. But they're proving my case. They're proving my case. So it's just, whatever. It's inconvenient, but they're helping me.
Oh, I completely agree. I completely agree that, 300 plus phone calls is downright ridiculous. And, but that's why when we did the other live stream the other day where, I called them all out, Gabby, Aaron, Danny, after they put Cameron all over the live stream that Danny was holding, and Aaron, and I was not going to stand by or sit idle while they continue to do that, because enough is enough. And all the nonsense that Gabby is doing, Danny, Aaron, because I'm holding Aaron accountable as well, not only Gabby. He is fully well aware of what is going on in that household, and I treat them both as equals, and he sees everything that's going on. He's part of the problem. So I'm holding him accountable as well. Not only Gabby and Danny. It is unacceptable behavior. And we're, at least me and Mrs. Homie in the community, and I know Feisty, and a lot of other people, I mean, thousands of people, we will not tolerate this nonsense any further, and accountability will be held. And I'm glad you're doing what you have to do, Feisty, standing on business. And me and Mrs. Homie are going to stand on business, and we're not going to tolerate this any further.
It's his job as Cameron's father to protect him, and he's failing at that. He was holding the phone the other day when the girls were running and Cameron was in the middle of the street. He knew what he was doing. And, you know, I'm not a fan of Danny, but, you know, for her to get on there and try to take the blame for all of that, Aaron was the one holding the phone. So they might be able to play this game with TikTok and gaslight folks on here, but they're not going to gaslight that courtroom. And every single thing that Gabby pulled down there, they are very well aware of it, all of it. They're aware of it. So you just people have to sit back and be patient. I want to address one comment in the chat, and I'm going to let go. I know that the court will not accept that paperwork, but they did call me and inform me that someone attempted to send a packet down there today. They did not accept the paperwork. I have received the phone number, and I'm waiting on the voicemail. Everything is being taken care of, and we just have to sit back and watch. We've been watching this long. We've been watching this long. Thank you, homie.
You're welcome. You have a blessed evening. And Feisty's right. I want people to understand that it's a process. The legal system, it's a process. Things do not happen overnight. But we're taking the necessary steps. We're putting in a lot of work behind the scenes that people don't see. We're putting in a lot of work behind the scenes. And it's a process, everybody. I'm being honest with you. Things do not happen overnight. It's not how the legal system works. But consequences are coming. And there are repercussions for all of their actions. Gabby, Aaron, and Danny. All three of them will be held accountable for everything that they're doing. And I already stated, if somehow something, you know, with Gabby announcing this pregnancy, and she's getting TikTok gifts, and if she financially gains off of this, and something happens like a miscarriage or anything, I'm just saying, where she pulls a fake pregnancy again, and she's financially gained from it, federally, she could be held accountable. As well, there are state statutes in Florida that will also get her in trouble. So we're no longer tolerating any of this. They put everything out on the internet themselves. And Gabby, nobody has forgotten about the fight for Cameron. Everybody has been fighting for the little boy. Because you don't get one hoot, you don't get one holler. All those recordings that you play of him screaming in the background, Aaron is well aware of it because he does it as well. Unacceptable. Not going to tolerate it. You scammed a lot of people out of money knowing that you had qualified. You had qualified for an attorney. Hey, Thunk.
Hey, Mr. Homie, how are you doing?
How's it going, Thunk?
I came up because the other account that you were on that got taken down, can you still see your messages on there?
Oh, yeah. I haven't lost that account.
Okay, I don't want to go into it now, but I sent you a message that's very important to me. When you get a chance, I know you're like uber busy, but when you get a chance, could you just take a peek at it for me, please?
I have my other phone right here, and I have 20 other devices. If you could bear with me
Oh,
1 minute, Monica, if you could bear with me 1 minute, I don't mind checking it
I
right now.
okay. I didn't want to take your time from this, but I just wanted to make sure you could still see your messages.
No, you're fine. We still have the account. We just got hit because yeah, we can't go live till the second, and I'm not crying
Oh, okay,
over
okay.
it. Give me one
But
second.
when you get a chance, just if you can respond to that, and I'd appreciate it so much because I know you have a big reach in the community.
I sure can, Thunk. I don't mind. As a matter of fact, I, I got you pulled up.
Okay.
I got you pulled up right now. You know, this is wild. I can't sit here and not say anything anymore. Gabby is here. What do you want, Gabby? What do you want, Gabby? Get a box. Get a box, Gabby. She won't grab a box.
Of course she won't.
She won't get a box.
Nope.
Okay, is it... Give me 1 second. Is it regarding somebody with a J? Thunk?
No.
Okay, hold on. Oh, with the G.
Yes.
Okay. Is it regarding an account banana?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll see what we could do regarding that situation,
I appreciate you so much.
and we'll try to help out.
Lead me in the right direction. I'll do what I can.
All right, Thunk. I'll let me look into some things, and we'll try to help as best as possible.
I appreciate you so much, homie.
You're welcome, Thunk. You have a blessed day.
You too, and have a blessed evening to Mrs. Homie too.
Thank you. So I don't know what Gabby's doing here. She had me blocked. What do you have to say, Gabby? I mean, are you upset that we got this new pamphlet? Is that what the problem? Hey, Gabby, by the way, just because I have this new pamphlet, there's no legal ramifications. This new pamphlet that I'm holding, there's nothing you can do. You can't sue me because I'm gonna read the whole book. We're gonna have story time where we're gonna read this whole book, and it's only gonna take an hour. It's only gonna take an hour to read this entire pamphlet. Because chapter 1 is taken, chapter 2, the shelter hearing. Chapter 3, the judge's ruling. Chapter 4, home but shaken. Chapter 5, building my case. Chapter 6, when TikTok became the judge. Then you went with another chapter 6, the safety plan trap. Chapter 7, so you have 2 chapter 6s in here, Gabby. I don't know how you ended up with 2 chapter 6s, but okay, let's continue. Yeah, this is the new pamphlet. Chapter 7, when TikTok became the judge. Oh, there's 2 chapter 6s and 2 chapter 7s. Let me throw that out there. So we have 2 chapter 6s and we have 2 chapter 7s. Because the first chapter 7 is when TikTok became the judge. The next chapter 7 is living in fear. Chapter 8, holding on together. Chapter 9, circles of support. No wonder you were skipping over chapters the other day when you were talking about. Chapter 10, jumping through hoops. Chapter 11, a broken system, where she's blaming the system. Should we read chapter 11 for her? Should we read? Let's do it. Chapter 11 of the Book of Lies. The deeper I went into this fight, the more I started to see the bigger picture. At first, I thought maybe it was just me, that CPS had made a mistake, that TikTok noise had clouded their judgment, that once the truth was clear, everything would go back to normal. But the longer I lived in it, the clearer it became. This wasn't just about me. The system itself was broken. I sat in parenting classes and heard stories from other parents. Why are you sharing stories that other people shared in confidentiality, Gabby? That is against so many things. If there's another Spread Love account, get her out of here. Moderators, be on the lookout for that Spread Love account. Gabby, if you're sharing other people's stories in this pamphlet, you're going to find yourself in big trouble. I sat in parenting classes and heard stories from other parents, stories of children removed for reasons that made no sense, of caseworkers who never returned calls, of families torn apart without evidence. Some of those parents had made mistakes, sure, but many were like me, caught in a system that acted first and asked questions later. I started paying attention to the patterns. Caseworkers who didn't recall when asked direct questions. Reports filled with half-truths and outright lies. Judges forced to sift through piles of accusations while the real truth got buried under paperwork. CPS wasn't just protecting children, it was protecting itself. And then there was TikTok. The bullies online weren't just trolls anymore. They had become players in the system. Their phone calls fueled investigations. Their lies turned into paperwork. Their harassment gave CPS an excuse to keep their hooks in me. It was like the two worlds, social media and government, had merged into one weapon aimed at families like mine. I couldn't stop thinking about how many parents didn't have what I had. A printer, screenshots, a lawyer willing to fight. How many children were still sitting in foster homes, scared and confused because their parents didn't have the tools to defend themselves? The thought haunted me. The truth was, CPS had more power than any parent could fight on their own. And when that power was influenced by lies, gossip, and social media mobs, it became dangerous. I realized I wasn't just fighting for Cameron anymore. I was fighting for every parent who had ever been silenced. Every child who had ever been ripped away without cause. Every family who had ever been destroyed by a system that was supposed to protect them. My case was just one story, but it was a window into something much bigger, something that needed to be exposed. Gabby, are you going to expose the system? I know she didn't write all that. I know she didn't write out that. Chat GPT? Chat Jipita? I call it Chat Jipita. GPT. You're going to expose the system? That's a bad move on your part. That's a very bad move on your part. Do you think DCFS and CPS, you think they're going to take it lightly when this pamphlet when it's in their hands? Oh, they got it? Oh, I didn't see the comments. I was reading this pamphlet. Oh, Gabby, you're in for a rude awakening. If they have this pamphlet already, you're in big trouble. You are in big trouble. That's wild. Woo! And in this entire book, pamphlet, excuse me, you continue to exploit Cameron. This whole entire book is to exploit Cameron. Somebody asked, hold on, is this her second one and it was published by her, or it was leaked? This book was leaked out. This is supposedly the new pamphlet. Somebody said it's a brochure. It's like a little baby magazine. There's a lot of interesting chapters in this thing. Chapter 12, content over truth. Chapter 12, content over truth. If CPS was a system trying to control me, TikTok was the fuel keeping the fire burning. The day Cameron was sheltered, I didn't just lose my son for a moment. I lost my privacy, my dignity, and my voice. Before I even knew the details of what was happening, strangers online had already decided the story for me. Creators went live celebrating like they had won. They said CPS had finally stepped in. They told their audiences that Cameron was safer without me. They twisted the words safety plan into proof that I was a bad. Well, in this pamphlet, Gabby, in this pamphlet that I'm holding in my hands, it was not voluntary. Because the moment you have to put your signature on a safety plan, it's not voluntary. You signed that safety plan. Ain't nothing voluntary about it. You signed for it. That means nothing voluntary about that safety plan. You understand? Let's continue. Let me continue with this. They didn't mention that the judge dismissed the hearing. They didn't mention that CPS couldn't answer the simplest questions in court. They didn't mention the evidence that had shown their allegations were false. No, those details didn't go viral. What went viral were the lies. What lies? What lies? And before you think you have went viral, Gabby, you have never gone viral. Ever. You know the majority of the people that ever join your live streams are there to watch you crash out. Because everybody knows what to expect from you, Gabby. The majority of the people in there are there to watch you crash out. They're not there to support you. That's truth and facts, 100%. You're not famous, you're infamous. You're not viral, you're never going to go viral. Every video, every live, every stitch of my name was like another knife. They didn't care about Cameron, not really. They only cared about likes, follows, and gifts. Interesting. Because when we hold live streams, the majority of everybody has their gifts off. The majority of everybody has their gifts off. So you can skip us with that? You can skip us with that nonsense? Because we don't do it for new followers. We don't do it for this. We don't do it for the likes. What we do is to let people know of how you have exploited a little boy for financial gain, for clicks and views. That's what you do, Gabby. That's what you do. We don't do that. My pain became their entertainment. My son's trauma became their storyline. And the more outrageous the lie, the bigger their audience grew. I watched people I had never met talk about me like they were experts on my life. They speculated about my parenting, my mental health, my marriage. Some even made up stories, complete with fake screenshots to convince others I was dangerous. Nobody's ever made up a screenshot because you put everything on the internet. Nobody's ever made up a screenshot, and everybody that I watched. And what marriage are you talking about? Gabriella? What marriage? Because it says right here, I watched people I had never met talk about me like they were experts on my life. They speculated about my parenting, my mental health, my marriage. What marriage? Huh? What marriage? We know she didn't write it. We know she didn't write it. We know ChatGPT did it. It was surreal, like watching a movie where the villain was me, but the script was written by people who had never been in my home, never seen the love between me and Cameron, never cared about the truth. And the worst part, CPS listened. The more calls TikTok made, the more CPS knocked on my door. The line between harassment and concern blurred until there was no line at all. TikTok had become my second courtroom. But this one had no judge, no rules, no evidence, only opinions. And in that courtroom, truth didn't matter, only content did. Gabby, everything that has been shown about you is off your live streams. Everything that has been shown about you is what you put out on those TikTok live streams. That's what you put out. When you put out medical records, you put out all this crazy stuff that you want people to screenshot and do all that. You put it out. Nobody's fabricating anything. Nobody's making things up. You did it. You put that out. Chapter 13, Breaking Point. Let's see which one's more interesting. Chapter 14. From victim to fighter. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Chapter 14, everybody, is from victim to fighter. She makes herself to be the victim. That's wild. From victim to fighter, huh? This is crazy. Chapter 14, from victim to fighter. After hitting rock bottom, I realized I had two choices. Let the system in TikTok break me, or stand up and fight harder than ever before. I chose to fight. At first, it was just about survival. I kept documenting everything. Every bruise, every doctor visit, every phone call, every text message. My printer never stopped humming. Stacks of paper piling up in binders. Binders? I ain't never seen... Gabby, I've never seen you with a binder. What are you talking about? I've never seen you with a binder. Where is it at? You talked about 20,000 screenshots that you had. What binder are you talking about? I've never seen it. Crazy. Let me continue. But somewhere in the let me get back. At first, it was just about survival. I kept documenting everything, every bruise, every doctor visit, every phone call, every text message. My printer never stopped humming. Stacks of paper piling up in binders. I organized by day and category. If CPS wanted to twist my life into a story, I was going to make sure I had the truth written on every page. But somewhere in the middle of the chaos, I noticed something. My story wasn't just mine. I started hearing from other parents, people in parenting classes, people who found me online, even strangers who sent quiet messages of support. Their stories echoed mine. False allegations, caseworkers who didn't return calls, children removed without evidence, families torn apart by systems that didn't protect but punished. That's when it hit me. This was bigger than me and Cameron. Yes, I was fighting to protect my son, but I was also standing in a fight that thousands of parents were silently battling every single day. CPS corruption wasn't a one-time mistake. TikTok harassment wasn't an isolated attack. This was a pattern, and I was living proof of it. So I started speaking out. I told the truth about what was happening. Even when my voice shook, I shared screenshots, timelines, and evidence. Not for drama, not for attention, but to show people how easily a mother who loved her son could be turned into a villain by lies. Hey, wasn't that in another wasn't that in something I just read in one of the other chapters, whatever you want to call it? Wasn't that the same thing that she wrote earlier in this pamphlet? That's something she already had wrote earlier. That's crazy. Ain't no way. Let's continue. For the first time, I didn't feel like a victim anymore. I felt like a fighter. It didn't erase the pain. It didn't make the nightmare stop, but it gave me purpose. And purpose was stronger than fear. Because if my story could help even one parent stand up, one child stay safe, or one lie get exposed, then maybe all of this wouldn't be for nothing. Gabby, you trying to go up against DCFS and CPS. It's not a good look for you. It's not a good look. You think that you're going to go up against DCFS or CPS and win some type of battle? That's wild. Let's see what else she has. Chapter 15, the first day back. Chapter 16, protective mode. Chapter 17, a moment of normal. Chapter 18, silencing the noise. And some of these timelines that she has in here is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Let me see. Chapter 20. Sorry. Chapter 20. September 22nd, filing an injunction. This is where she talks about filing that frivolous lawsuit. She talks about that frivolous lawsuit that she filed against Feisty. September 23rd felt like my heart was running a marathon. I woke before dawn with my pulse already pounding, a steady drum that matched the fear in my chest. That morning, I took Cameron's small hand in mine and walked into the courthouse to file a protection injunction. Every step echoed with memories of past hearings and the weight of 3 years of relentless cyber harassment. Part of me wanted to turn back. I kept thinking about the cost of a lawyer, the chance of another denial, the possibility of facing Brownie in the courtroom again. But a deeper voice reminded me, you have the evidence. You have the right to fight back. I prayed for courage, asking God to guide my steps and surround me with the right people, even though trusting anyone had become so hard. See, right there, that's where she threw Brownie in. That's not the first time. All day I paced, replaying worst-case scenarios. When an email alert finally appeared on my phone, my breath caught. My hands trembled as I opened the message from the court. Last time I'd received a notice like this, it was only a hearing, no protection. But this time in bold black letters I read, temporary injunction granted. Man. Relief crashed over me so hard it felt like I might collapse. For the first time in years, there was a measure of justice, a shield, even if only temporary. I called a small group of friends who had quietly gathered evidence for me. They called me while I tried to process what had just happened. From that moment until the scheduled hearing on October 8th, I stayed off of TikTok Live. I couldn't risk another ambush or hate or another stranger stalking my 4-year-old. Rumors still exploded online. False claims that Cameron was in foster care, that Aaron was filing for child support, that our family was was collapsing. Pictures of us eating at a restaurant surfaced, and strangers spun their own stories. One neighbor, a woman I had never met, even joined in the harassment. She posted videos from her car, pretending to garden or mow the lawn while broadcasting my movements. That's a lie, because I didn't see it, but okay. Announcing to her audience when I left home and which direction I drove. Pizza deliveries still showed up, uninvited at our door. And on Reddit, Discord, Telegram, and TikTok, live streams kept the lies alive, feeding their followers and fabrications to keep their content flowing. If you claimed to get off of TikTok, right? If you claimed to get off of TikTok, how did you know what was going on Reddit, Discord, Telegram, and TikTok? How? If you said that you were no longer on social media, which we knew you were lying. We knew you were lying. How did you know what was going on Reddit, Discord, Telegram, and TikTok? Because we know you're lying. You talk about people stalking you. You're out here stalking everybody else. But inside my home, I focused on Cameron and the safety plan. I submitted to pill counts, rug tests, and a psychological evaluation. Aaron supported me through every step, participated in the process without complaint. None of that stopped the rumors, but it reminded me of what really mattered, being a mother and staying strong for my son. Even in silence, I refused to let the noise define me. The injunction wasn't the end of the fight, but it was a sign that the truth and persistence could carve a path through the chaos. Wild. That's crazy. Chapter 21, longest day of calls. I want to see what's some of the more interesting. Let me see. See what we got. Chapter 22, stuffed shells and small lessons. Chapter 23, help on the horizon. Let's see where we're at with this. Let me see. Yep, chapter 23, help on the horizon. Says later that same night, after the house finally went quiet, my phone started lighting up again. Not CPS this time, not strangers with rumors, something different. Oh, she did put Kaylee in this pamphlet. Kaylee had gone live on YouTube talking about the temporary injunction and the woman who had been harassing and cyberstalking me. She showed the paperwork right there on the stream. People were listening. Friends messaged me saying the chat was blowing up. Viewers were asking how they could help, how they could make sure I had a lawyer. Kaylee told them, if you guys want to donate, I'll handle it. I'll collect it all, hire the lawyer, and send receipts so everyone sees where it goes. I just sat there reading the messages, almost in disbelief. For so long, it felt like I've been fighting this battle alone, screaming into the wind while strangers tore my life apart. And now, here were people, some I never even met, reaching into their own pockets because they felt it had gone too far. I could feel a shift, like maybe the tide was turning. Not everyone out there was rooting for the chaos. Some actually wanted to help me stand my ground. It didn't fix everything. The legal fight was still ahead, and I knew better than to think one live stream would solve it. But that night, for the first time in a long time, I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Wild. Give me 1 second. This is crazy. This is wild. ChatGPT works miracles. Because we know who really put a lot of this in here. ChatGPT. Well, I told everybody. I told everybody in the live stream. Her time of exploiting Cameron, the little boy, it's come to an end. It's come to an end. She's not going to exploit that little boy any further. That's why I'm reading the pamphlet. I'm not going to give her an opportunity to make money off of this. She's not going to make money. She'll try to go live and be all like, well, since the Mexican homie's reading my new book, my new pamphlet, I'm going to read it before he does. I'm beating you to the punch. I'm beating you to the punch. We're reading it right now, Gabby. We're reading your new pamphlet right now. Gotcha. Gotcha. What chapter were you going to read? Let me see. Lost count. Let me see. Chapter 26, A Morning of Insight. September 25th started early and calm. I got Cameron up, helped him into his clothes, and dropped him off at school like any other morning. Yeah, we know you're lying. But instead of running errands or diving into chores, I came back home to meet with Cameron's therapist for a 2-hour visit. From the moment he arrived, I could tell this wasn't going to be a routine check-in. He was warm, but incredibly sharp. Both a biopsychologist and a neuropsychologist. And he had a way of explaining things that pulled everything together. He talked about how the brain and digestive system connect, how food can influence mood and behavior, and how those links matter even more for an autistic child. Gabby, all those big words that you have in here, you don't even have one. Look, you don't even know what the meanings are. Those big words that you put in here, that was ChatGPT. We know that you don't know what any of that means. Yeah, this is her new book. You don't have one clue what any of this means. That's how we know ChatGPT wrote the first one and this one, but didn't do a good job of editing the book. It felt like a crash course in understanding my own son. I sat there soaking it all in, grateful for every bit of information. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was getting real answers, not just quick advice. Before he left, he said he would help arrange occupational therapy for Cameron, do his own full diagnosis, and help set up ABA therapy to give Cam extra support. Hearing that lifted a weight off my shoulders. It was like seeing a light at the end of a very long, dark tunnel. Gabby, I know you didn't write this. I know you didn't write this. You know why? Because when they asked you, what was it, yesterday or the day before, what you learned in EMDR, when you had EMDR, you said you couldn't remember. So what makes you think that you would remember all this right here that you have in this pamphlet? What makes you think that you would remember all of this and then all of a sudden, oh, I wrote it down? We know you didn't write this. Man, ChatGPT works wonders. Around 11:30, he gathered his notes and we wrapped up. I thanked him, feeling both relieved and hopeful, and promised, see you next Thursday. As the door closed behind him, the house felt a little different, still quiet, but filled with the same sense that real healing had finally begun. That was the end of chapter 26. We know she didn't write this. There's no way she wrote this. I'm sorry, my Ring camera, we have a lot of activity. It's the dogs. Give me 1 second. I'm going to shut it up. Give me 1 second. I'm going to shut this, at least on my phone. Somebody said, how many chapters do you have? I have 35. Someone passed the salt. I told you it was story time. I think Mrs. Homie's getting tired of my story time too. Should we go to chapter 35? What do you want to do? Mrs. Homie's making dinner. So I'm just hanging out. Keep going. Yeah, I still have plenty of time before I have to go get the little guy. All right, we'll keep going. It's your favorite one, 420? Okay, we'll get to it. Before we end, we'll get to chapter 35. And I skipped a bunch of chapters. We're beating her to the punch, everybody. We're gonna beat her to the punch. Let's continue. Chapter 28, Fighting the Darkness. And then she put trigger warning, unaliving thoughts. Unaliving thoughts. She put that in the pamphlet. After the therapist left on September 25th, I sat on the couch for a minute, just trying to breathe. The visit had been hopeful, but the quiet of the house made the next steps feel heavy again. I still had a hearing coming up on October 8th, and I needed a lawyer. So I picked up my phone and started calling. One number led to another. I kept telling myself to stay calm, but fear kept creeping in. Every ring of the phone pulled up memories of the last time, how badly things had gone when I faced court without a lawyer. It felt like deja vu, like I was walking back into the same nightmare. I couldn't stop wondering, will I find an attorney in time? Will this ever end? Should I just back out before it breaks me again? And underneath it all was the knowledge that she had already hired the same attorney who had destroyed me in January. That memory came rushing back. She goes back to January 28, 2025. January 28, 2025. That day still lives inside me. I walked into court alone, no lawyer by my side, and it was brutal. You walked in alone? Wait, that doesn't make sense. How did you walk into the courtroom alone? What? Interesting. I had gathered every piece of evidence I could find, but the judge said it wasn't enough. Lack of evidence, and denied my request. When it was over, I went to lunch with Aaron and my mom, but I couldn't stay. I started hyperventilating, tears pouring down my face. I told my mom I had to leave and stumbled to my car, where I broke down completely, screaming, sobbing, asking God why. Stumbled to your car? What? Stumbled like is in... That's wild. Driving across the bridge, a dark thought slid in. What if I just kept going? For a moment, it felt easier to let the pain pull me under. I gripped the wheel and prayed out loud, begging God to take that thought away. Cam needs me, Cam needs me, I told myself over and over. Slowly, the panic eased enough for me to drive home. Aaron held me tight when I walked in the door. Please don't let go, I whispered. He kept saying, we're going to get through this. They'll be held accountable. We'll find justice. I wanted to believe him. I called my doctor as soon as I could speak clearly. The nurse heard the strain in my voice and told me to come in immediately. It was almost closing time, but they waited. I showed them my evidence and explained the hearing. They diagnosed me with significant emotional distress and started me on medication and therapy right away. That night I knew God had kept me on that bridge. He held me in his hand and brought me safely home. Back to September 25th, continued. Remembering all of that while dialing lawyer after lawyer left me shaken, but I kept praying and reminding myself, God got me through that night, he will get me through this. The fear was real, but so was my determination. I wasn't backing down, not this time. I must have made close to 20 calls to different attorneys. Some were kind and encouraging, others flat out said no. A few sounded willing to help until they quoted prices I knew I couldn't afford. Every ring of the phone made my heart race. I just wanted to hear someone say, yes, I'll take your case, while at the same time dreading the words, but it will cost. It felt like a two-edged sword. Still, I kept at it. I contacted the Florida Bar Association and legal aid, filling out forms and explaining everything over and over. Even when it felt like nothing was moving in the right direction, I kept telling myself there had to be someone out there who would listen, someone who would help. By late afternoon, a small piece of good news finally came through. All right, listen to this. Listen to this. By late afternoon, a small piece of good news finally came through. I qualified for assistance because of my income level. Gabby, you qualified for assistance for an attorney because of your income level. They set me up for a call with an attorney on September 26th at 10 a.m. to go over the case and see how they could represent me. Gabby, you qualified for an attorney because of your income level, yet you scam people out of money. Yet you had the nerve to scam people out of money even though you knew that you qualified for an attorney, that you had representation, and you still scam people out of money. That's crazy. That's crazy work. How could you scam what you call your supporters out of money, and I don't know how they even fell for it? How could you scam people out of money knowing that you qualified for legal representation, and then you go and you drop that frivolous lawsuit? That's wild. It wasn't a full victory, but it was something. A small breath of relief that maybe, just maybe, help was on the way. And then she wrote, here's the next chapter draft. Keeping your heartfelt gratitude and the energy of that support system. Gabby, you know how I know ChatGPT wrote this? Because I know. ChatGPT says those exact words. It'll tell you, here's the next chapter draft. And then it'll tell you what it's going to entail. That's how I know ChatGPT did this. So when ChatGPT tells you, here's the next chapter draft, it's going to tell you that. Keeping your heartfelt gratitude and the energy of that support system. That's how I know you didn't write it. You lied to everybody. What I'm going to do, everybody, I'm going to get to chapter 35. Let me just get to chapter 35.
It's only like 4 pages away. Get the fuck out of here.
Please don't, because it's only 4 pages away. Oh my God. Mrs. Homie, you ain't got to be like that. Like, Miss Homie, you ain't got to be like that. It's only like 4 pages away. All right, Miss Homie, I got it. Oh my God. All right, Miss Homie. You ain't got to do people like that. Oh, God. Let's get to chapter 35, everybody. You'll find this pamphlet I'm gonna put it on their website. That way nobody has to listen to Gabby read it. So I'll put this on the Clam Scammers website, the one that I have. I'll put this pamphlet up there, and you don't have to listen to Gabby read it. It'll be up for everybody's leisure to just go take a look. She will no longer exploit the little boy Cameron. All right, chapter 35, A Night of Miracles. September 27th turned into a night I will never forget. Earlier in the day, we'd already reached $700 toward the legal fees for my upcoming hearing. I kept praying, asking God to somehow make sure I had a lawyer in that courtroom. Deep down, I still worried. Until Kaylee went live on YouTube that evening. She promoted my Diamond R and told viewers that if they donated $50 toward my legal fund, they could choose any topic for her to discuss. It started small, but soon the chat wanted to talk about Feisty, the woman who had harassed not only me, but other people too. Kaylee pulled up old core videos and walked through the same patterns of harassment, and everyone watching was shocked. And then the donations started pouring in. You hear that? And then the donations started pouring in. One by one, people from all over came together. Kaylee kept updating the totals, her voice bright with excitement. We're almost there. 200 more. Just a little more, and we'll hit the goal. I sat there watching the numbers climb, hardly able to believe it. When they finally announced we'd reached the target, half the payment I needed to secure a lawyer, I felt the weight slide right off my shoulders. It didn't even feel real. Tears filled my eyes. It was like a dream, a moment of pure grace. After years of fighting alone, suddenly there was an army behind me. I whispered a quiet thank you to God and to every person who donated or shared a kind word. That night, I slept deeper than I had in months, knowing I wasn't walking into the courtroom alone. Kaylee's team, evidence, so I didn't have to drown in paperwork or anxiety. For the first time in 3 years, I felt a powerful mix of relief and determination. This is it, I thought. This is my time to shine. This is my time for justice. That was it. That was it. Yeah, Pink could come up. Who else was?
We'll wait for more to be locked.
Yeah, Pink, you would have to request a box, Pink. Anybody, yeah, the end. That's the end. That's the end. Let me see if I see Pink coming up. Give me 1 second. I don't see Pink requesting yet. Remember? Somebody said, the effing end. Didn't she say she had like 50 chapters? Oh, here comes Pink. Here comes Pink. Hey, Pink.
Hey, this is all that I want. I figured I'd wait to the end.
I love it. I love it, Pink. I can't believe that.
That was amazing. Thank you for sharing.
It'll go up on their website, Pink. I don't know if you, go ahead. Go ahead, Pink.
No, my jaw is on the floor. I just can't believe. But I do think I've been saying like this, everything that we're seeing is really her losing control. The lies are getting bigger. It's I just think that this is about rock bottom, but I guess we'll see. I love the website. Thank you for sharing the book. And that's all I wanted. I just wanted to play my little violin for a minute.
Thank you, Pink. You're always, you know, you have an amazing community, a beautiful community, and you know, me and Mrs. Homie adore you. It's just wild. It's wild how she could sit there and try to exploit Cameron any further with this pamphlet that she leaked out.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, likewise, I adore both of you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Pink. Have a blessed evening.
You too.
Oh my goodness, this is wild, everybody. I'm kind of left speechless in a way. A lot of the lies that she put in that pamphlet, I didn't even read it all. But I'm gonna put it on a website. I'm gonna get the domain locked in. It is called Clam Scammers. So it's gonna be called. Let me pull it up. So the website that has been created. Give me 1 second. It's where the internet could go and see all the deception that they've done, all the lies. Watch their every move as they scam people out of money. So the website is called the Clam Scammers is going to be .com. I'm going to lock in the domain. So the website, this is what it looks like. This is what the website's going to look like. I already started it.
There'll be a section for you to share your own stories.
Yeah, we'll make a section where people can share stories. So it's going to be the clamscammers.com. Right now it's, excuse me. Right now it's the clamscammers.weebly.com, but I'm going to lock in the domain name. And then by Monday, I should have a lot on there. I already started working on it, everybody. I already started working on it. So they're going to have their own website where they'll be exposed. And we will make a section where people can share their experiences with Gabby and Danny and Aaron. So by Monday, I'll go ahead and it's published already, but there's a lot that I have to add to it. So I got a lot of editing to do. So they get their own website now. The clamscammers.com is, by Monday, we'll have that domain name locked in. And thank you for all the taps, everybody. Thank you for supporting us and bringing awareness. We can't let off. You know, the moment we let off is the moment they think they're going to get away with it. And we're not going to tolerate it. So this is, like I said, trust the process. I want everybody to understand, trust the process. Should have named it the Jacobson effect. I think clamscammers.com sounds more fitting. That's just what I think. So there's a lot that will continue to go on behind the scenes. And we're not done. But I just want to thank everybody. You know, we have an amazing, beautiful community, and we got to stand tall. We got to stick together on this. And as a community, we get a lot further by doing things as a community. So thank you very, very much, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. Have a blessed evening. I'm not going to take up no more of your time. the pamphlet will be loaded on that website as well. That way you guys could go read it. Ms. Bev, thank you for staying in the box.
You're welcome. It's going to be a fire night on those streets tonight.
Oh, you better believe
It's
it.
going to be wild. Thank you. Thank you, Holman.
You're welcome.
Love you.
We love you, Ms. Bev. We love you. You have a blessed evening.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah. It's been wild. It's been wild. Hopefully, we were able to share as much as possible. Have a good evening, everybody. I'm out of here. Got things to do now. Got to adult. We got to do adult things. We have to adult as they call adulting. Have a good night.